Hi there, guys. I'm back with another vlog here today, and as you can see, it's beautiful, it's sunny, the sun's shining again, and I'm feeling vibrant, I'm feeling joyful, and I'm feeling very hopeful for the future now. Alhamdulillah. So there's a massive difference, like, whenever the sun's out and it's cold and it's just either grey skies and the sun shines from one cloud to another, just hiding behind clouds, compared to when it's just complete blue skies and not too warm of a weather, but just it feels very summery and wholesome. There's a massive difference. Like you feel like a massive internal shift, and it just feels so fulfilling and natural. I love it. So it's around 12, 13, 14, maybe 15 degrees now, but it feels like proper warm summer because we've had a cold winter, a really cold winter, followed by a coldish spring. Like spring, the start of it's been very cold. It's got me thinking, like, hang on, are we not gonna get any sunshine this year? I remember this time last year, I was starting my exposures. It's like the early stages. I used to stand outside the house. I used to lean on my mum's car and just feel the heat, feel the sunshine. And when you're starting off a new journey and new perspective in life, it just feels so exciting. Like, I loved last year's exposures, man. Like, it just set a new tone and a new meaning of life for me. And that's exactly what I want to talk about in this video. I want to talk about exposures last year and how things went from the time when I ventured out to my first voluntary exposure in McDonald's. So I remember going there, I was getting dressed, I was getting changed, I put on a cap, I had a t-shirt on, and I called my mum, I called my sister. I was just uncertain about how things were gonna turn out. I was feeling my heartbeat, I was feeling a bit woozy. You know that feeling you get like just before you're about to do something big. I was having that feeling, but I just kept pushing. Like, I knew this feeling is either gonna get worse or something terrible is gonna happen, is the feeling that I had. But one thing I knew is I was not gonna turn around and go back to my old life. I knew each step that I took meant freedom. So I went ahead, I kept walking. It's not far from my house. It's around 5 to 7 minute walk. And then as I was getting closer to McDonald's, just outside of it, I was feeling like the breathing was tight. McDonald's felt like there was a lot of people in there. It wasn't a lot of people in there. It was just a normal midday sort of population there. You've got your people going to work. You've got those families that come along, spend the afternoon there. And me, little old me, just walking there all alone, just felt like, whew, I've got a big task here. So I walked inside nevertheless, and I think I got a Coke. Yeah, I think I got a Coke, and I sat down, just navigating my way there, choosing a table. It just felt very tough, very challenging, very outlandish for me. So I sat down, and then I felt like everybody was staring at me. Like, who's this guy that thinks he's sick? That gets a Coke, sits down, doesn't look left and right, just looks so ambiguous, so quiet, such a strange aura around. Who's this guy? It's exactly what I felt like people were thinking about me. And then I lifted my head. I told myself, this is an exposure. The whole purpose is to get triggered. So I tried to look to my left, but I didn't look directly. Like, it felt like I did this. That's what it felt like I was doing. It wasn't what I was doing. What I was actually doing was, yeah, I knew what I was doing was normal and casual. But my mind told me otherwise. And it's just that anxiety, and it's just that overthinking, overwhelmed feeling. And it's something that I needed to get, I needed to get used to that feeling for it to have a different meaning to me in my head. Now, whenever I look around, these bumblebees, they buzz so loud, man. Nowadays, when I look around, I feel like it's more natural, even though each gaze or each time I turn my head around now, it has to have a purpose or a meaning. Because before, I used to try to get triggered from each look and each action I did with my body. Now, because I can do it, I can't just look at somebody here on my left side, just stare at them to get triggered. It's a bit off. So that's a massive difference. And the other things that triggered me was whenever I stood up in McDonald's, like I tried to walk out, for example, my movements would be so robotic. I remember grabbing my Coke that was on the table and I think a receipt as well. So I grabbed them. I'll be like, I'll look like somebody in space, no gravity, just floating. And all mechanical, like an AI person. I know I do look like, maybe this guy had, a bit too much something in his system. People might be thinking that. But I tried my best to look natural. And even though it didn't look natural, I mean, if I didn't do those movements, that awkwardness and just those unnatural movements, I wouldn't get to where I am today. So it was so difficult, and each exposure taught me something different. I learned something new. Like the first time round, I knew like, okay, this isn't a scary environment, okay? Nobody's gonna start a fight here. Nobody's gonna argue with you. Something with people with anxiety, a quick side story. Whenever I had like a lot of anxiety, I wouldn't be able to handle confrontations. An argument breaks out in public or even in a confined space. A fight breaks out. Wherever it is, even though physically, verbally, I can handle myself, because it's so wild, like it's so disproportionate to what I'm used to in my mind, it just feels like, yes, I'd rather avoid this. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna come out with, when it comes to a fight, like, I'm just not used to doing those movements. I'm not used to arguing. I'm not used to having a debate with somebody. I'm not used to being turned down or losing a debate or losing a fight that I don't know how I'm gonna react. So it's like, it's so unsafe because I can't handle these situations. I don't know how I will turn out. So now that my mind knows from my first exposure that it's safe, McDonald's, nothing bad will happen in McDonald's. Nobody will argue with you. Nobody will try to start some sort of a blowout of any sort. The second time round became a bit easier. So I walked in knowing that, cool, I just have to do the same things as before. I looked around, I did something extra each time. Like, I would pick up my phone, I would try raise the phone just a bit higher than last time. I look to this side, I look up here, and maybe just stay a bit longer. So each time I picked up something new, my brain realized that, okay, scenario is so chill, you can do this again. And then slowly I ventured out to another location and stuff. And the reason why I'm saying this story is because this morning when I woke up a bit early. Nowadays I'm not working, so if I get out of bed at around 9, that's classified as early, right? Early bird catches the worm, but in my case, I didn't catch any worms today. So I got out of bed early anyways, and then I thought, hey, why don't I do an exposure? Go McDonald's, go Tesco, just do something, right? Trigger myself. And then I realized I can do all of that. Like, I can go McDonald's right now and just sit there and not do anything and look around. I can even do that, even though it would come across as, this guy's drunk at 9, I can do that. There's no issues. But what am I missing here? I'm missing a stifle trigger that I'm not getting anymore. So that means I've got to up my stakes. I've got to start doing things that are maybe past the norms here. So even people that are social butterflies can look around, chill, start conversations in random places. For me, it won't trigger me anymore. It's a good thing. But I feel like I've got so much references that I need a dramatic reference now that, like to push me out of my comfort zone. I'm not trying to say that, I'm the most confident person out there. I'm the most, triggerless person, the person that's just so hard to, push out his boundaries. No, I'm not. I'm just saying those low-level stakes and exposures just won't do it for me anymore. And what I realized, what does it for me now is telling stories, and exactly why I started with this vlog on here today. That's right, I tried my best to give a story from my exposures and just try follow along. So this entire vlog here links from a purpose that I started with the vlog here, with the weather, with the exposures, the way I usually start and the way it's ending now. I tried to link it all, and I don't know whether I did a good job or not, but I really need to learn how to tell stories, how to string sentences along more naturally. Something that I realized that I'm struggling with is, if I was to meet a girl today and give her stories, try to, attract her or build a relationship of any sort, people need to be able to give stories, and stories that have a meaning and a punchline and funny if possible. But for me, that's where I find it challenging. So the next few vlogs on here, I'm not going to even tell you to bear with me. Just listen along, my day viewers, my 3-4 viewers on here. I'm going to try give stories. I'm going to try work on what's difficult for me and what's a bit awkward still. And hopefully I'll get somewhere after a few story vlogs on here. So yeah, that's my attempt on my exposure stories. If I was giving it to somebody, if I was telling it to somebody right in front of me today here, that's how it probably come across. I know it doesn't fully blend well, but hopefully I'll get there. But yeah, enjoy your day. Love, light, nature, smile, and go out there. Do something meaningful today and enjoy yourself. Take care.